Welcome to the 12th video on compressible fluid flow. My name is Radish Tiar, Assistant Professor from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. In this video, we will study how a convergent nozzle behaves towards changing back pressure. This is an experimental study and this helps us to understand the performance of convergent nozzle and we can design a convergent nozzle accordingly. Before moving on to the experiment, let us discuss the term back pressure. Back pressure is the pressure in the downstream direction against which the fluid flow takes place. The flow work is the energy with which the particle pushes forward and overcomes the back pressure and the flow progresses. If in a particular flow the upstream pressure is greater than the downstream pressure, we have what is known as a favorable pressure gradient. In this, the flow occurs smoothly. If in any condition arises where the upstream pressure is less than the back pressure, it is referred to as adverse pressure gradient. This disturbs the flow and results in back flow or flow separation. If the upstream pressure and the back pressure remains same, then there will be no flow. Keeping in the concept of back pressure, now let us move on to the experimental study. We will start with the experimental setup. For this, we have a reservoir in which fluid is kept stationary. Since the fluid is stagnant, the velocity of the fluid is zero, it refers to a stagnation condition. So the pressure, temperature, density possessed by the fluid inside the reservoir corresponds to stagnation properties. A converging duct is fixed to the reservoir. A settling chamber is connected to the other end of the converging nozzle. The converging nozzle will exit the fluid into the settling chamber. A pipe goes out from the settling chamber which is connected to a vacuum pump. A valve is provided over the pipe in order to control the influence of vacuum pump inside the settling chamber. By adjusting the vacuum pump, we can increase or decrease the pressure inside settling chamber. Initially, the valve is kept closed and the duct and the settling chamber is filled with fluid from the reservoir, which are all at stagnation conditions. Since the pressure is same throughout, there will be no flow. When the pump is switched on and the valve is opened slightly, the fluid from the settling chamber is sucked out, resulting in reduction in pressure inside the settling chamber. Now a pressure gradient is created inside the experimental setup and the fluid will start flowing from the reservoir towards the settling chamber through the converging duct. The flow occurs against the pressure maintained inside the settling chamber. This pressure inside the settling chamber can be referred to as back pressure. Hence, by controlling the valve, we can adjust the value of back pressure. PB represents the back pressure inside the settling chamber. PE represents the pressure at the exit plane of the nozzle, which is also the throat of the nozzle. P0 is the stagnation pressure. When the flow progresses through the converging duct, it has just started accelerating from the reservoir where the velocity was 0. Hence, a subsonic flow enters into the converging duct. The duct will act as a nozzle and accelerate the flow. This causes the pressure to reduce along the length of the duct. Since it ejects into the settling chamber with the pressure Pb, the expansion of the fluid in the duct will be such that at the exit of the nozzle, the pressure will be equal to back pressure and the fluid will smoothly merge with the conditions of settling chamber. Now, if we reduce the back pressure by opening the valve, the expansion in the nozzle will also increase to meet with the reduction in back pressure. Hence, we see that the flow goes on accelerating with reduction in back pressure, and this will result in increase of the Mach number at the exit plane of the nozzle. Now let us represent this variation in pressure using this graph. We have pressure in y-axis and length in x-axis. Initially, when the valve is completely closed, the pressure inside the entire arrangement remains the same, which is equal to the stagnation pressure. At this point, the Mach number at the exit or Mach number at any point for that matter will be equal to 0 since there is no flow. When the valve is opened, then the pressure inside the settling chamber reduces and we set a back pressure value, say Pb2. Since Pb2 is less than Pb1, which is equal to P0, we can say that Pb2 is less than P0. Hence, there is a pressure difference across the nozzle and the fluid will start flowing through the nozzle. As it flows through the nozzle, you can see that there will be reduction in pressure. The pressure reduces continuously and it will come to a pressure equal to the back pressure at the exit of the nozzle and flows smoothly into the settling chamber. Now the fluid has accelerated, so the Mach number value would have increased from 0 to a finite value. Let it be represented as Me2. Now if we further open the valve, the pressure inside the settling chamber reduces, resulting in reduction of back pressure. Let that condition be represented as Pb3. Now this is much more less than the value of Pb2, hence the difference between P0 and Pb3 is increased. The flow will accelerate further as it passes through the nozzle and it will take the following path and smoothly merge with the settling chamber condition such that the exit pressure is equal to the back pressure. Here the flow has accelerated and the Mach number has changed. Let this Mach number be Me3. We can say that the value of Me3 is greater than the value of Me2. As we continue to reduce the back pressure, the flow continues to accelerate and we reach a condition when Mach number at the exit plane becomes unity. At this point, the exit pressure Pe becomes equal to P star, that is the critical pressure corresponding to Mach number equal to 1. And also the value of Pe is equal to Pb. So we can write Pe is equal to P star is equal to Pb4, where Pb4 is the back pressure value set inside the settling chamber that resulted in the flow to be accelerated such that the Mach number becomes unity at the exit of the nozzle. Now we can see that Mach number becomes equal to 1 at the throat of the duct. Hence, we can conclude that the nozzle has choked. And we have the maximum mass flow rate through the nozzle. Now, if we refer back to the equation of choked flow, we see that the mass flux is dependent only on the stagnation temperature and stagnation pressure, which remains constant during an isentropic flow. So, for a given value of P0 T0, we can have a value of mass flow rate that is maximum for the given condition. If we want to make any change to the mass flow rate, we have to change the stagnation condition. So, in our case, P0 is the stagnation pressure and T0 represents the stagnation temperature. Corresponding to the reservoir condition, we have attained the maximum mass flow rate that can pass through this nozzle. And we say that the nozzle has choked. This is represented by the third curve. When the back pressure is reduced from PB3 to say PB4, the flow here accelerates. There will be greater reduction in pressure and it approaches the exit plane such that PE will be equal to PB4, and here let's say that Mach number becomes equal to 1. If Mach number becomes equal to 1, then the exit plane pressure is equal to the critical pressure P star. Hence, we can write this particular equation. If we further reduce the back pressure such that the back pressure becomes less than the P star value, that is the critical pressure value, we see a disturbance in the flow at the exit of the nozzle. This is because the flow has choked and further increase in mass flow rate is not possible. The maximum possible fluid particles are passing through the throat under the given level of energy, that is the stagnation state, and further increase is not possible. So nozzle will expand the fluid such that PE becomes equal to P star even though the PB value has been reduced to a value less than P star. Hence, there is a pressure difference as the fluid exits the plane and enters into the settling chamber. Here, the exit pressure PE is equal to P star, which is a value greater than the back pressure. To meet the pressure difference, the fluid is forced to expand suddenly just outside the nozzle, and this sudden expansion disturbs the flow. Now this is represented in the graph with the zigzag line. We see that even though the pressure has been reduced to a back pressure value PB5, which is less than P star, the flow will again proceed through the just previous curve, and at the exit condition we will have the value P star. But just outside this line we have a value of back pressure which is less than P star. So the fluid will have to undergo a sudden expansion so that it can flow into the settling chamber. This sudden expansion results in the disturbance of flow, which is represented by this zigzag line. Having understood the different ways in which a convergent nozzle behaves towards variation in back pressure, we can put forward the following results. Now let us see which gives us the best performance condition for a converging nozzle. Initially, when the back pressure was reduced to a slightly lower value, we see that the nozzle accelerates the flow and we have a particular value of Mach number. The flow smoothly flows into the settling chamber without any disturbances. When the back pressure is reduced such that the exit condition becomes equal to critical condition and the back pressure value is equal to the critical pressure value, you see that the nozzle is choked, Mach number is equal to unity at the throat and the flow smoothly moves into the settling chamber. When the back pressure is reduced to a value less than the critical pressure, we see that the nozzle is expanded in a different manner. That is, there is a sudden expansion at the exit of the nozzle even though the nozzle is choked and we have Mach number equal to 1 at the exit. The primary use of nozzle is to get a very high value of kinetic energy for the fluid at its exit. So, if you want to get a higher value for kinetic energy, the mass flow rate should be higher and the fluid velocity should be higher. Out of the three cases, we get maximum mass flow rate with maximum fluid condition when back pressure is equal to the critical pressure. At this particular condition, we see that the nozzle is choked and the fluid is moving out at sonic velocity and the flow is smooth. Whereas when the back pressure is reduced less than the critical pressure, even though we have choked flow with Mach number equal to 1 at the exit, the flow is diverged as shown in this figure. This results in losses and hence at the exit we will have a kinetic energy less than that we would get from the second condition. So this condition, that is the condition when the back pressure becomes equal to the critical pressure, we call that the nozzle is fully expanded and this is the best design condition for a nozzle. When the back pressure is less than the critical condition, we say that the nozzle is underexpanded. Here we discuss the variation of mass flux and exit plane pressure with back pressure. For this we are using the following graph. Let us first start with the term mass flux and its variation with respect to back pressure. Here you can see that the back pressure is expressed as a non-dimensional value using the stagnation pressure. So when the valve is initially closed, the pressure is constant throughout. So the stagnation pressure and back pressures are equal. So this is where we start, that is at the point 1, 0. At this point there is no flow, so mass flux is 0. And as we reduce the back pressure, we move towards the negative x direction and we see that as the back pressure is reduced, the velocity of the fluid increases and also the mass flux increases. This is shown by the curve and it continues till a particular point where mass flux becomes maximum. At this point, Mach number is equal to 1 at the exit plane and at this point we have PE by P star. Further reduction in back pressure doesn't change the value of mass flux because the nozzle has choked and the value has reached maximum value. So it remains to be a straight line. So this is the curve that shows how the back pressure affects a mass flux through the converging nozzle. Now moving on, we will see how the exit pressure is affected by the back pressure. Here both the terms are non-dimensionalized by stagnation pressure. Initially when the flow is 0, the pressure conditions are same throughout. So P0 is equal to Pb is equal to Pe. So we have the starting point of the curve at 1, 1. As the back pressure reduces, there is also reduction in the value of Pe. This is shown by this curve, and it continues till a point where Pb becomes equal to Pe becomes equal to P star. That is, we reach the critical condition and the flow is choked. Once the flow gets choked, the further increase in Pb doesn't change the pressure at the exit plane. The pressure at the exit plane remains as P star, which is shown by this straight line. Hence, this curve shows how the exit plane pressure changes with change in back pressure.